In other news, what is this?
That's a chart.
It's a chart, yes. A chart of what?
This is a new point system that immigrants must adhere to if they want to live in this country.
Yes, you get bonus points if you've got English, and you lose points if you fail to integrate, which seems harsh in the initial interview. You don't turn up dressed as a pearly queen. Oi! Good integrating, well done.
It's basically racist, isn't it? What, people are going to have to learn English to get a British passport? No, I'm afraid it's my family and I will be murdered if we go home. Not my family and me. Back to the Sudan with you.
They want them to learn British history, but essentially British history is us invading their country, enslaving their people, and then nicking their natural resources. Always good to remind them of that before we welcome them into the country.
But nobody says this, right? If you're seeking asylum in this country, you probably need asylum. Right? If you come from a sunny country and you want to move to Birmingham, someone in your homeland is trying to murder you. If you're rocking up to Preston looking for a better life, things have gone very badly wrong where you come from. Let those people in. Don't say to those people, hey, you're a heart surgeon in your homeland, but you read very badly from Beowulf. We'll have to let you go.
It's easily unfair, though, isn't it? Because it always comes down, they have to know things about Winston Churchill. You ask anyone in this country, give us a famous quote from Churchill, and I guarantee they'll go, oh, yes.
Because this is to the points to get yourself into the country. Currently, there is a Life in the UK test, which features questions like this. After the Second World War, where did British textile and engineering firms send agents to find workers? Now, judging by the reaction both the audience here and 6 blank faces here, and even more weirdly, there's another question from the life skills test. Where does Santa Claus come from? Now, there's debate in this country about that particular issue, let alone there is no hard and fast answer to that one, but that is among them. Why don't you just, if you really want people to mix in, just give them a simple finish the sentence question with questions like, the referee's a what? And if they can finish that, like, the Frosty's there, what?
Why don't we just go the whole hog, admit we're racist, and at immigration control have a Dulux wall chart, and when people rock up, we go burnt umber, I'm afraid not. Autumn sunset, in you come, just.
By the way, this announcement of this new clampdown on immigration, what made it slightly awkward?
It was a fantastic story because there was an illegal immigrant found hiding underneath a bus that was full of people who work for immigration.
Yes, it was.
Isn't that a brilliant story?
It was a bus carrying staff of the UK Border Agency, and an illegal immigrant clambered underneath it and hid beside the fuel tank.
The last place they'll look.
It is. It really was the last place.
Just for cheekiness, he should be allowed in because that is brilliant. That is like a mouse sneaking into the house by holding onto the cat's nipples, isn't it? It's just...
Well, apparently when they got to Folkestone, he just legged it. I'd have loved to have been on that bus and seen those guys go, well, I think that went quite well, don't you? I think it went quite... Oh, dear, who's that chap? I don't want to sound racist, but there's no way that any of us are going to catch him over 5,000 metres.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Frankie and Stewart.
I had a really good analogy for this, because I think it's really, really terrifying, isn't it? These voiceless people seem to be having, and vulnerable people having their benefits cut. And the trouble with Tories is they tell you that they kind of sell this idea that it's these people's fault. And so this is my analogy. So I don't know if you know this, but girls, when they're in the toilets, some girls hover because they think that public toilets are disgusting.
What, off the floor?
No. Yes! It's amazing. We can do that.
You are amazing!
But we only do it in secret or you'll love us too much. So the girls hover above the toilet seats and then they wee, and then that means that what they do is they kind of spray a fine mist all over the toilet seat, which means that if you're a trusting person who doesn't think that toilets are disgusting, you just sit down and then you're covered with somebody else's urine and you have to take it off. And actually the point is, if no one ever hovered, everyone could sit on toilets. It would be fine for everyone. It's just like the Tories. You see?
It's a hell of an analogy. That is... I think we can all get behind that as a political slogan if nobody ever hovered.
I don't know whether I like girls more or less after that.
I'm just glad that I'm not the only one who hovers.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is rejected questions from this year's exams.
If sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C, what are the chances that you're ever going to use this in your sodding adult life?
According to Germany, how much is Greece worth? 1 mark.
Exam board of Zaragoza. Paint Jesus.
Jonathan is a Nigerian prince. What are your credit card details?
3 girls in this hall are pregnant. Who's the daddy?
Compare the following. A, the market. B, the meerkat.
Heat the crystals until they produce a vapour. Inhale. The exam seems easier now, doesn't it?
Without swearing, describe Peter Andre.
Mental arithmetic. Count up the voices in your head.
Using the paper provided, roll a joint and pass it round.
Does this look infected?
In the recent Olympics, Great Britain won 3 times as many gold medals as Australia. That's not a question, just a statement.
One Direction are incredibly popular. Explain.
Sport. How do you spell Akabusi? Is it A-K-B-U-C? Yes or no? If Steve eats 2 apples, an orange and a banana, why is he such a fat fucker?
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. If you do that in as fucking shambolic a way as possible, that'd be really helpful. Of course, we'll get them to do it all again. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. If you could manage to do that less sarcastically. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. Yeah, you don't do it again. Look, he naturally... Walk in like you're naturally walking into the position.
It's my normal walk. Yeah, no,
2 inches that way.
What? I'll give you 2 inches. Now. Thank you, I appreciate it.
OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a history documentary. Sorry, too soon. Apologies.
Harsh.
My fault. Sorry, do you want to walk back and walk back out again? My fault.
No,
it's still valid. It's still you. It's still you doing it. No one will step in.
I'll go back a little
promise
bit.
you. Go back all the way. I'm sorry. Itchy trigger finger. I apologise. Oh, now I'm so tempted to do it again.
Yeah, fine.
Very much. Very important that that part of my head looks fantastic at all times.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. Yeah.
That's why I plucked all the hair off, just to make sure that it received all the attention it deserved. Wayne Rooney's a pussy. Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Alan, Hugh and Milton. Wow. Okay, can we do it again without you whining like a fucking child, right? Go back there. Christ almighty. Now we play a round called Trumpty Dumpty Sat in the Wall. This game involves Angela and Hal. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round's a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. This first subject is growing old. Who wants to come in on that? Angela.
I recently turned 40, and I want to reassure anyone younger, turning 40 is really easy. My friend turned 40 recently. She made a bucket list, right? She said to me, you're going to make a bucket list. And I said, do you know what I hear when I hear bucket list? I hear admin. That's what I hear. They're always so ambitious, aren't they? It's like, oh, I want to go to the Taj Mahal. I want to swim with dolphins. The only thing I could think of that I genuinely would want to put on my bucket list is that one day, I'd like to put half a packet of biscuits back in a cupboard. But getting old, growing old in this country looks scary, and it's looking scarier and scarier. You know, by the time I get to old age, there won't be care homes anymore, will there? It'll just be an OAP rescue centre. So be like Battersea Dog Zone. This idealistic young couple will come in, they'll get shown around. This is Maud, she likes knitting, gardening, casual racism. Why don't you take her home? That's what it'll be. So we have to worry about these things. We do, because we're all living longer, aren't we? There's so many 100-year-olds in this country now, the Queen's had to get a Moonpig account to keep up. This is my plan for old age. If I get there, right, if I get to my 80s, I am going to spend every single day doing Class A hardcore drugs. Why wouldn't you? Well, you don't have to get up in the morning, do you? Right? You'll never have trouble finding a vein. I'll tell you something, you might not be able to afford to heat your bungalow, but I bet you can afford to heat a teaspoon, then you won't give a shit how cold you are. No-brainer, isn't it?
Thank you very much, Angela. So that leaves us with Hal. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. Topic is nationality.
Ah, yes. Well, I'm English, obviously, which is rubbish, isn't it? No, it is. No one likes us. If you, I follow England at rugby, at football. Everywhere we go, we get booed. Everybody else boos us. My wife, Northern Irish, boos me in bed. Absolutely. Boo! You're rubbish! Get off! You English are crap! It's not all English people, it's just me. I was actually doing a gig in Scotland a couple of years ago in Glasgow, and I said to a roomful of Scottish people, is it true, whenever we play football, you support the opposition? And they all went, yeah, we do. I said, you know what? We do the same to you, we just never know when you're playing. But I happen to think that sort of anti-English thing, and with Brexit, means the UK is finished. Eventually, in my lifetime, the UK is going to break up. I said I was a passionate Remainer when it came to Brexit, or Ramona, or my favourite one, a sneering member of the metropolitan middle-class liberal elite. I love being called that. I love being called elite. It makes me sound like we're like super troops, you know, that go around the area in a van, keeping it bourgeois. We all screech to a halt, we jump out, we take up our favourite yoga position immediately. That cafe's no longer serving decaf soya lattes! Destroy it! Say that word, quinoa. It's quinoa, you bastard!
Thank you very much. Well done, Hal Crittenden. At that side, points of both of you. Come on back. This next topic is bad ways for Gordon Brown to address the nation.
You can take our lives, but you'll never take our freedom.
This isn't my sporran. It's Hazel Blair's asking for a promotion.
The economy is in ruins. I blame the previous Chancellor.
You thought Tony Blair was a Watch this.
People of Britain, when I address you like this, did you know sometimes I get so excited a little bit of wee comes out?
You might like Tony more, but you'll hate my wife less.
In these troubled times between our nations, I feel I need to reach out to President Putin and say, I have shagged your mother.
It's time you learnt the truth, Earthlings!
Citizens of New Atlantis, I bring greetings from our brothers, the Crabmen.
No. Don't make me do it, Mother.
I'm G to the B, and this is how I roll. You got beef with me, you kiss my A-double-S hole.
OK, point over Frankie here live.
This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is going out. Rob.
I like going out and getting drunk. It's fun, isn't it? I got so drunk the other week. It was the most hungover I've ever been. In the morning, I bought a McDonald's breakfast and ate it in the queue for a Greggs. And I still don't know if I'm ashamed or proud. I don't like tequila, though. I don't like doing shots. It annoys me with tequila. It's too much admin, isn't it? So I'll lick a bit of salt, eat a lemon. What are you doing that for? It makes it taste nicer. It's not fish and chips, is it? So sort of, no one looks like they're enjoying it. Everyone looks panicked, don't they? They're always like, oh, thank God for the salt and lemon. They're loving it, aren't they? Do you know what make a tequila nicer? Do a tequila, then have a Cadbury's cream egg. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Take the taste out of your mouth. The thing is, as well, though, it's like I can't properly get on it now. I'm like a bit older. I'm not saying I'm too old to get drunk, but when I was 18, you don't care, do you? You can get battered. Just get on with it, right? Because hangovers, they say hangovers get worse. They don't, do they? You just have more shit to do when you're older. That's the problem. When I was 18 on a night out, I'd be getting on it. Someone might go, do you want some drugs? I'm like, oh, I don't know. How'll it affect me? What will my mum think? Oh, my God, drugs. Now, if I'm on a night out, so I'm like, do you want some drugs? Can't, mate. Got to paint a fence tomorrow. I don't want to be painting a fence all sad. All hot, sweaty and vulnerable, like, oh... I was really looking forward to painting this fence last night. Told everyone about it. I'm so hot, sweaty and sad. I'm more likely to keep hold of the drugs, do them in the morning before the fence, just smash it like that. I'll do the roof. Shall I do the roof? Let's do the roof. We've got no ladder. I'm flying, Mum.
Thank you very much, Rob. OK, that leaves us with James. Let's see what topic you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And it's food and drink.
I'm not like Rob. I don't like going out and getting drunk. I like staying in. I drink on my own. Way cooler, man. I lock the door, I get myself a glass of punch. Is that weird? I drink punch on my own. Is that strange? I drink it from a big punch bowl with a ladle in it in the corner of my bedroom. Is that weird? I don't know what other people do. People are always worried about punch getting spiked. Solo punch, problem solved. Not to spike myself, unless it's Fun Time Thursdays. Tried going out with some mates recently. We hit the town. I'm a prankster when I'm out with my friends. One of them left me alone with his pint while he went to the toilet. Big mistake. It's a classic prank. I always do this if someone leaves me alone with their pint. I went round the bar using his pint to propose toasts with. Deliberately proposing toasts to things I knew he disagreed with. He comes back, has a sip. What you done with that? I'm like, you just drank to the service charge being included in the bill. You just drank to those bedside lamps that don't have the switch on the cord like is convenient, but have it on the neck of the lamp under the bulb. It's like a bolt you have to somehow slide across, and you can't even reach it like that. You get your whole hand up inside the lampshade, and it hurts. It's really awkward. You can't even see it. You got to look at the top of the lampshade to see what you're doing, and then you turn it on and it blinds you. You just drank to those lamps. You love those lamps.
Thank you very much. Point for both of you. Come on. Very good. Thank you very much. The first subject is travel. Miles.
I'll tell you what's wrong with trains. It's the quiet coach, OK? Quiet, that is an adjective. It doesn't go far enough. Quiet is an adjective. It should be called the silent coach. Shouldn't it? The silent coach. No one would have any trouble understanding that. It's the silent coach, right? You can't talk on it, you can't use your laptop, children can't travel on it, you can't eat crisps, and crucially, they, the train people, they wouldn't be allowed to make announcements. Because the sort of people that have the mentality to travel on the quiet coach, which is the correct mentality, are the sort of people who check where the train is going before they bloody get on it. For years, we've just not got these things right. Mock the weak audience, you're exactly the sort of people that know what I'm talking about. In Russia, during the revolution, right? During the Russian Revolution, the Russian army was able to travel to all of its battles by train. During a revolution, they were still able to rely on public transport. Imagine if we had a revolution now and the army had to rely on transport, we'd be buggered, wouldn't we? Certainly those of us who wanted the army to win. Absolute nightmare, wouldn't it? Marston Moor 2016 kicked off. You know, the British Army turning up 7 hours late to every single conflict. You know. Oh, sorry, there were leaves on the line at Stevenage. There was a passenger action at Crewe. We were going to be joined by the SAS, but they've been stuck on a rail replacement bus service in Horrified.
Thank you very much, Miles. OK, now leaves Milton. Let's see what topic you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And subject is music.
We don't know much about Galileo. He was a poor boy from a poor family. I live in a Grade 2 listed building, which of course means that everyone in it has to be quite good at the piano. Apparently all Chinese children who are learning to play the piano know a tune called Knife and Fork. I'd like to take the band ABBA out for lunch, and if I could, I would, my friend. For Nando's. When I was at school and it rained, we used to have to stay in for wet play. And when it was cold, we used to have to stay in and listen to this really dull band. AD 79. Julius Caesar receives the first ever weather forecast. Hail Caesar.
Thank you very much. Points there go to Milton Jones. Come on. And the first subject is jobs. Who wants to come at? Reese.
I've got a job. Yep, I'm not resigning. And my job is this, which still counts Dad. This is a good job. It's not perfect. It's not the best job in the world. I would never say that. Some people think it is. It's not, right? Best job in the world, community support officer. With no power comes no responsibility. Best job ever. Nothing is expected of you if you're a community support officer, right? If it's not writing down someone's details, then it is beyond your remit. That is 100%. It's just vigilante admin. That's all it is. You're a professional grass. That is your job. I got a leaflet through the post a few weeks ago advertising that job, right? It said, do you have what it takes to be the best? Will you stand up in the face of danger when no one else will? No? Then you should become a community support officer. In the hierarchy of law enforcement in this country, it goes Army, Police, British Transport Police, Ticket Inspector, Traffic Warden, Park Ranger, Dinner Lady, Kid wearing Nike trainers, Kid wearing Adidas trainers, Community Support Officer, Kid wearing Umbro.
Well done. Reese. OK, that leaves with Gary. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel again. The topic is technology. OK, where you go.
The young couple next door to me have recently made a sex tape. I mean, obviously, they don't know that yet. The hardest part of making skimmed milk must be throwing the cows across the lake. The guy next to me at work used to watch porn all day. I'm just glad he didn't begin to rub off on me. I think if I was to try revenge porn, I'd just post naked pictures of myself online so everybody would know how low my ex's standards were. When answering the security question, place of birth, apparently vagina is not an acceptable answer. It's been a tough week. I got myself a memory foam mattress and now it's trying to blackmail me. I've currently got a stalker, but you probably can't tell in these trousers. A friend of mine was killed by the big C. He was walking past Curry's and a sign fell on his head. I was watching TV and the announcer said there's a documentary about the clitoris on the red button, but I couldn't find it. Thank you.
Very good. Points there for David Lady. Come on back. The first subject is health. Who wants to come in on that? John.
I went to get some test results from my GP the other day, and she sat me down and she said, I'm very sorry to tell you, Mr. Robbins, but you've got gout. And I was absolutely stunned. She said, you seem surprised to hear you've got gout. I said, yes, I am, because I'm not from the 17th century. She said, the first thing you need to avoid, Mr. Robbins, is alcohol. Now, it's gutting. Because what do you replace alcohol with? I am not a doob monger. Nor do I ride the Chinese highway. By which I mean I don't take drugs. I think mainly because I don't have the vocabulary to oversee a transaction. So she says, the second thing you need to avoid, Mr. Robbins, is cheese. And I said, out loud, to a respectable GP in her late 60s, what the fuck, mate? Then she gets this serious look on her face, and she says, the third thing you need to avoid, Mr. Robbins, and this is very important, is offal. Well, I tell you what, if I didn't damn near spit that pig's ear clean out of my mouth. Turns out gout is actually a very serious condition, and after a lot of soul-searching, I've decided to cut offal entirely out of my diet. I'm not going to make you imagine what that's like. It's my cross, and I'll bear it. And I'll tell you how I bear it. Pissed and covered in cheese.
Well done. Thank you very much. That leaves us with James. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is moving house.
I moved house recently. Luckily. That's good, isn't it? It's fortunate. Touch and go for a second there, and that came up, and I was like, ka-ching! Jackpot! I did move house recently. Tad too drafty for my liking my new house. Had to order a draft excluder by post. Best way to buy a draft excluder is by post, because when they deliver it, they post it through the door, it drops through the letterbox onto the floor. Already it's paying for its own postage. Moved to West London. I used to live in South West London. Different times, I was a different person. Used to be in a gang. Big time in a gang. SW6 gang is our name. It's the area of London we're from, is our name. And it's what we'd shout at other gangs we didn't like much. Like, if I saw the SW5 gang, for example, we'd shout at them, SW6! That's clever. I remember once, back in the day, we're out and about, SW6 crew, taking no shit. Looked across the road, we saw them, SW5 gang. And as soon as I saw them, I was cross. Shouted at them, SW6! As per. They shouted back at us, SW5! Which we expected, but it still made us angry. SW6 back at them, SW5 back at us, back and forth for ages. Until eventually, I got so overstimulated that I shouted out my entire postcode. In full, and that is why I had to move house.
Well done, point there for James Acaster. The first subject is alternative medicine. Can I have a volunteer to talk about that? Andy.
Apparently, a lot of people trying to get into therapy at the moment, other people knocking it, saying, you know, oh, well, you should just lose your inhibitions, talk about your problems to your friends. I thought I'd try this. I talked about my problems to my friends for a whole hour. Lost my inhibitions, also lost my friends. I now tell my problems to taxi drivers. 2 advantages in this. 1, it stops the taxi driver from telling you his problems. And 2, it's amazing how much quicker you get to your bloody destination.
Well done, Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is the media. Who wants to come into that? Russell.
I'll do that. I'd see, you know, the way I like getting the news is Radio 5 Live. It's fantastic, 'cause it's just news and nutters, isn't it? They'll read out, like, that was the Pope's view on abortion, and then, hello, Felicity Puddleduck here, livid and ill-informed. I'd just like to say those harlots should give birth to their children aged 2 that charge you to national service. I'm off to bake a cake. And sat there listening, and then the next night, David, are you out of your mind? Cloning? Think it through. 2 versions of me. Want to go out and commit a crime? Who gets blamed for it? Me! I'm doing a 20 stretch. He's banging my wife. Where's the justice? And you sat there listening to these nutters, and then the most ridiculous story. A man in Bristol's found the face of Jesus on a crisp. And suddenly, I couldn't believe it. I opened up my Frazzles. There he was!
Russell Howard. OK, the leads are Hugh and Frankie. The next topic is sport.
Do you know, I've heard a rumour that horse racing may not be completely honest. It's unbelievable, isn't it? But how do you stop the corruption? Well, one solution may be to call horses something like mafia-backed second favourite. Because if everyone did that, everyone would be confused, no one would know who to bet on, and the whole thing would be fair again. And they're off, and the first to show is blatantly bribed, followed by mafia-backed second favourite. They're just ahead of Dope to the Gills, Mysterious Limp, and just behind them, Out for a Canter, and I'll Fall at the Fifth. And as they come to the fifth, I'll Fall at the Fifth has fallen. I'll Fall at the Fifth has fallen at the fifth in a magnificent display of cheating, and they're coming into the final furlong. Mysterious Limp is slowing, Out for a Canter is clearly struggling, but coming through strongly is mafia-backed second favourite, and as they cross the line, mafia-backed second favourite has won it, which is remarkable, seeing as he has no head. That's been left in someone's bed for tomorrow morning.
Well done, you. Well done, you. OK, Frankie, let's see what you've been left with. And it's environment.
Didn't that used to be an advert for mints? Ryanair getting a hard time from the environmental lobby because they've launched a £7 flight to New York. Although, as always with Ryanair, it does land slightly outside New York, in Dublin. It's a pity we can't harness more natural energy, isn't it? Pity we can't harness the power of British moaning. Oh no, that moaning-powered light bulb's on the blink again. Oh no, there it is, back on. Everyone complained about the floods, didn't they? I like storms. I like thunder and lightning. What I like to do during a storm is shag my girlfriend and pretend that we're taking part in the conception of the Antichrist.
Frankie Boyle, ladies and gentlemen. And in that round, the points go to Frankie and you. This is the news that IPSA review body has proposed a rise in MPs' pay to around £74,000 a year, an increase of 9% on their current salary of around £66,000. Should they get a pay rise?
No.
Why?
Well, because it's easy for me to score points with the audience by saying no.
OK.
£8 hardly enough to put a secret love child through private school.
It's not like football, is it? In football, you have to stop other countries nicking your best players. It's not like other governments are trying to nick our politicians, is it? Cameron's going to be out like, I've said no to Spain, they can't have Gove. Do you know what I mean? They're trying to buy him.
I feel quite sorry for MPs, because people all think that all MPs are money-grabbing bastards. But they're not all money-grabbing.
Ed Miliband has said that he's going to stop any Labour MPs having a second job by the next election. But, of course, by then, a lot of them won't have a first job, will they?
They get 15 quid a day food allowance for lunch.
Yes, they do. And
that's like free Subway sandwiches. That's free footlongs. That's 36-inch of sandwich. That is too much for anyone. You can wear it as a belt.
George Osborne looks like he could take 36 inches.
I don't think the voucher is exclusively for Subway.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah. So it's just like, this is only redeemable at the Parliament Subway. And the queue is really long. There's this one Subway guy making...
It's the travel stuff, right? They're being restricted on taxis. They're not going to be allowed to use taxis anymore. They're not going to be allowed to use taxis. Where are Tory MPs going to get their ideas if they're not allowed to take taxis?
David Cameron is so basically like a taxi driver. I'm surprised he doesn't stand with his back to the dispatch box going, I'll tell you the country's problem. It's immigration. That's the problem with this country.
They never have proper second jobs, do they? It's always like a posh sort of business role. It's never just like... Because I had a second... I used to work in a market and in a pub. Do you know what I mean? Like, my dad used to be a carpet fitter and on the dole. Do you know what I mean? They've always got posh...
The next round is called Between the Lines and features Hugh and Frankie. Would you make your way to the press pit? In this round, one of them takes on the role of a person in the news addressing the media while the other translates what they really mean. Frankie, you are Prince Charles making a New Year address to the nation. Hugh, you will tell us what he really means.
My loyal subjects.
My homies. My bitches.
I'm proud to say that Harry will be serving in Iraq. I'm sure that he will find a useful role to play.
3 miles behind the other troops, in a sealed titanium war bubble.
I do hope that he doesn't get shot.
How will I break the news to his father?
William, meanwhile, seems to have found a girl that he's in love with.
So now he can marry someone else and keep her as his bit on the side.
Tabloids are desperate to get hold of saucy pictures of Kate.
I've got some.
It was good to see Helen Mirren winning a Golden Globe. I thought she did a wonderful performance as my mother.
I've been having some very confusing dreams.
I took Camilla to India recently, and the locals who saw us were amazed.
He thought, blimey, Diana's let herself go a bit.
Surely it is now time that Diana was laid to rest.
After all, it's nearly 10 years since we had her killed.
My sons were both very upset at the time.
He kept on asking why I smelt of brake fluid.
Well done to Hugh and Frankie!
Pretty sure you're looking for the one-armed man.
To be honest, should we not wait for Adam to put his foot back?
Yeah. Probably should have done that one last, really.
Problem.
I kind of backed myself into a corner. Quick impression, Heather Mills in the morning.
I could not stop looking at that then. Was that really weird? I don't know why, I was just like, the leg, look at the leg. I don't know what I was thinking, just the leg. I wanted to touch the leg.
It was a nice joke to do, but I think most of you kind of went, ah!
The thing is, we all know Adam's only got one leg, everyone else don't now. He's died himself!
OK.
I think you're looking for the bloke with one leg.
The Met Office have issued a weather warning. They've told the weather not to do that again, or there'll be trouble.
Temperatures could rise to 31 degrees. Shit, I've left my baby in the car!
And finally, a warning to hay fever sufferers. Don't come sneezing near me or I'll rip your face off.
So, here's the summary. Monday shite, Tuesday shite, Wednesday shite, Thursday bollocks.
The humidity's rising. The barometer's going low. Tonight, for the first time, just about 10:30, it's going to start raining men.
The outlook's bright for the weekend. I've got 3 grams of coke in my pocket and my wife's on holiday.
Well, let's go to Carol on the roof of Television Centre. She's not meant to be there. She's just a bit depressed.
This part of the country is going to stay hot and wet for quite some time because that's where my girlfriend lives. Oh, yeah.
So, it's going to be between 17 and 21, but Berlusconi won't date older than that.
It was raining cats and dogs last night.
I should know. I was throwing them off my roof.
It's going to be -12 this weekend, so if you're in Newcastle, you might need a bigger T-shirt.
It's going to be cloudier tonight. I love those German birds.
What do you care what the weather's going to be like? You look shit in all your clothes.
She felt every part of his 8 inches. He was stiff, absolutely wretched, and even in her innocence, she knew her hamster was dead.
He felt a swelling down there. Shouldn't have tried to bang a beehive.
He took her hand in his and squeezed it. Now, he thought, I wonder where the rest of her body is.
I want to role play. I'll be a prince from a mythical land, and you be your sister.
He looked at the tattoo of Chinese writing on her back. He didn't know what it meant, but he did know she'd put out on a first date.
Jeremy Corbyn, you've got me blindfolded. What are you going to do now? Nothing. I just wanted to highlight the injustice of inmates detained at Camp X-Ray without a fair trial.
The subject is charity. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
It's, cheer if anyone's ever given clothes to Oxfam. Fair enough. You whooped then. Woo, do we win a prize? No. It's a really odd feeling because you feel quite proud of yourself. Just where am I going? I'm off to save Africa. That's right. And you wander in, you just plop down your clothes. Always some lovely lady, bung it anywhere. And there's a tiny part of you that gets really annoyed. You almost want to go, right! Well, we'll do that again, shall we? And this time you're going to act like you give a shit. It sounds bad, but there's a tiny part of you that wants to go, Sire, he brings goods. The chosen one has arrived. As you fling pants at orphans. Yippee, hurrah, will you ever be back in time, you needy tinkers, banana grass?
Russell Howard. What have the government changed their minds about?
The one this week is rubbish collection. They said that there would be rubbish collection once a week, and now they've gone back on that. It's going to be once a fortnight. I've absolutely no idea why people are worried about their bins being taken away every week, because if you live in a city, a fox will take your bin away every night.
This is the thing, this is a big thing, the urban foxes, or as they have them in Kensington, the urbane foxes. So I said to the rabbit, I should run if I were you, my young friend. Do not say to bandy pretty words with me. I shall have your pelt for a smoking jacket.
Who was the man who announced this policy, though? A man by the name of Eric Pickles,
yes.
who basically said it was the right of every Englishman to have the remnants of his chicken tikka masala to be able to put them in a bin without having to wait 2 weeks to have them collected. Have you seen the look of that man? That is a... How would he know? There we go. That is a man who has no concept of leftovers whatsoever.
Do you think that when he said the remnants, he meant like that tin container that they got delivered in?
Honestly, he would have eaten that. He would have eaten the bag it came in. He would have eaten the receipt and the leaflet with the new menu on it. And the delivery boy only got away because he was on a moped.
Nice.
And Indian takeaway, you don't put in a bin anyway. Indian takeaway, you put in the bag that you got the Indian takeaway in, and then you put that next to the bin. You don't actually put it in the bin, so it doesn't matter.
And what? Surely it gets in the bin eventually. Surely the bag that the takeaway arrived in that contains the ticket, where does that go?
I really need to clean my house.
Do the foxes actually ring your doorbell and go, can we just come in? Because you can smell under the door that this is going to be great. Can we just leave for an hour?
They're thinking of kicking me out.
It is also one of the big advantages of a wheelie bin that you can do a U-turn in it. And race it. Have you ever done that? You ever done racing wheelie bins?
No, I haven't.
Well, you put a child in each wheelie bin.
They're quite deep wheelie bins. How old is it?
Exactly, yeah. They don't need to be seeing anything. You can have the lids closed.
Do you even have to move, or do you just close the lid and go, oh, here we go, oh...
And when they're sick, it's quite useful they're in a bin, to be honest.
By the way, this is all a very funny chat about wheelie bins, but we're not saying you should really put children into a wheelie bin. A round called Don't Stop Till You Get a Laugh. This game involves Frank, Andy, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge who produce the funniest stuff, OK? Here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First topic is parenting. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Getting quick. You may have seen that there was a woman gave birth recently who was 72 years old. That's not right, is it? You don't want to be a kid struggling to walk to find out your mum's in exactly the same state. But in this country, it's been more, isn't it? The young people who've been giving birth. Alfie Patton, supposedly a dad at 13 years old. And then they were saying, oh, no, he's not the dad, some people. I don't know what's going to happen to Alfie now. Maybe he's going to have to join Fathers for Justice. Hey, he's probably got a superhero costume, hasn't he?
Thank you very much, Andy. OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is history. Who wants to come in on that? Frank.
Let's do it. Yes, history. I think it's important not to trust history. Don't take things for granted. I watched that film, The Elephant Man, recently, and it suddenly struck me after all these years that the Elephant Man doesn't actually look like an elephant. He doesn't. The Elephant Man doesn't look like an elephant. If anything, he looks like fresh ginger. Now, obviously, if you're putting up posters trying to sell a freak show, you can't say, coming soon, the Ginger Man. Or people are going to think, OK, they're not the best-looking people in the world, but I'm not paying to see one. Now, you can edit history now, right? They've brought up... Scientists have found out which part of the brain contains your bad memories, and they have developed a drug, you must have read about this, that can actually erase bad memories. It's what Ronnie Wood's 20-year-old girlfriend calls the morning after pill.
Thank you very much, Frank. That leaves us with Frankie and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. Next topic is Britain's Got Talent. Frankie.
Yeah, I actually watched this series of Britain's Got Talent, or as I think it should be renamed, How Bored Are Britain's Women and Homosexuals? Susan Boyle, to me, looks like Gordon Brown playing Mrs. Doubtfire. She was on Oprah Winfrey in America, and they subtitled her. And people in West Lothian, where she's from, were absolutely horrified, as many of them can't read. She says that she's never been kissed, and on that evidence alone, Scotland's alcohol problems are not as bad as first thought.
OK, let's see what Russell's been left with. Let's spin the wheel. OK, the topic is human behaviour.
Some things you can't help doing. Do you find this? Like, if you get a cold can of Diet Coke, it's not enough for you to go, that is freezing. You have to find somebody you love and put it on their face. You can't... You don't do that with any other food. This soup's boiling in your eyes, but... For some reason, you become a fizzy torch. All right, Mum, Fanta to the knee! We're all fairly peculiar. Sometimes you think weird thoughts. I was in Tesco the other day. I was offered a bag for life, and I found myself going, I can't commit to that. You know? I don't know what bags are going to be like in the future. I feel like a tool if I got a plastic one in 2024. People go, I've got a new bag. It packs itself and speaks Spanish. Piece of shit. What can you do? I can suffocate a child. That's all you're good for. He can speak Spanish. I can hurt your hands on long journeys.
Well done, Russell. Points there go to Andy and Russell. OK, now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I cut ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a consumer programme.
I'm Adrian Childs, and I was shocked by the new Shrek film. I've not been paid for it, yet I seem to be starring in it.
Consumer scams are on the increase. If you'd like to find out how to stop them, send us your name and address, your date of birth, and your mother's maiden name.
I've just found out my jumper was made by Indian slave children. Can I just say they did a wonderful job?
Next, we speak to Barbara, who was devastated when she bought Daniel Bedingfield tickets that turned out to be genuine.
At first, the company seemed willing to compromise. Then we sent them a letter from Nicky Campbell, and they told us to fuck off.
I won't be on this show next week because I'm going off to Nigeria to pick up my lottery winnings.
Last week, we said that we were going to expose London's security scene. This week, we say, there's been a misunderstanding. Could I please have my kids back?
On closer inspection, Mrs. Wilkins, your hamster's jacuzzi would appear to be a food blender.
Hi, I'm Nicky Campbell, and I've been ploughing through the usual 5 sacks of hate mail to find this letter complaining about washing powder.
Today, as I stand before you penniless in the last clothes I own, we ask, is divorce biased in favour of the greedy bitch who left me?
We got there, the weather were crap, the food were crap, the locals were racist. What a bloody brilliant holiday!
Of the half-dozen condoms we tested, all but 2 burst in my stomach.
I'm Anne Robinson, and without plastic surgery, I'd look like E.T.'s balls.
OK, the next topic is things a sports commentator would never say.
Oh, they've called in the video referee. Which is better, Alien or Predator?
Oh, yes, and that's a beautiful uppercut. And another one. But, hey, the DJ is still not going to change the track for Stephen Gerrard.
Jimmy White holding up the cue there as he collapses at the till in odd bins.
Welcome to Robot Wars. Cruncher, ready! Stephen Hawkins, ready.
And England have won the Ashes.
It's the women's 100 metres final, and from left to right, it's no, no, yes, maybe, from behind. Definitely not.
The Queen smashes Camilla in the face and Prince Philip hits her with a hammer. This is what I call a Royal Rumble.
Venus Williams has brought something different to the ladies' game. Male genitalia.
Oh, he's great with a dead ball. When I had one, I had to sit down for a week.
And I think that massive widescreen close-up of the wedgie goes some way to explaining why we don't normally televise judo.
And that bloody smear is the reason you don't see a lot of streakers in Formula 1.
Some people on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now. The Chinese secret police have shot them.
Well, he's finally got his head down. His hands are firmly round the shaft. Which is why I'm handing over to John Infidel.
Overpaid knocks it on to overrated. Overrated on to possible rapist knocks it forward. Closet gay, goal!
OK, at the end of that, the point go to Frankie, you and Adam. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Gove announces exam changes. This is the news that Education Secretary Michael Gove has announced a new English baccalaureate certificate to replace GCSEs. From 2015, students will work towards a demanding 3-hour exam at the end of a 2-year course rather than the current combination of coursework, modular exams and multiple retakes.
He's even invented an exam that thicker kids won't be able to pronounce. It's the back of what? The back of what? The back. Oh, give me a shovel, I'll go down to mine.
I think the idea is if you're academic, then you get a baccalaureate, and otherwise they teach you practical skills like how to baccalaureate.
The Tories have assured us that under this system no child will be left behind. But how can we take Tory promises that no child will be left behind seriously when their leader's David Cameron?
What's the, do you know what the abbreviation is?
It's called
EBC.
EBAC.
It's called the EBAC.
EBAC, which is when Yorkshire people make payment over the internet.
I thought that was something from Star Wars, isn't that?
Yes, it was. Do you know who hated
I
the
bet you
EBACs?
can't do the impression. Skywalker! Your evacs will not qualify you to run the Empire. Nah.
There's been a lot of debate over, whether grades have been devalued, and I was discussing that recently with my nephew, Professor Timmy.
So, hang on, sorry, because it's one of these things that I genuinely am always perplexed about, coming from a different country as I have, with my spices and my silks. To your nation. And there's so many great things about it, except your exams, which are mad. And not that the education, by the way, is great. I'm not saying anything about the education people get here, it's fantastic. But the exams are mad.
There are people who, when confronted with an exam paper, just go to pieces completely and forget how to count, and I think it's very unfair that they are marking the papers.
There are people who just shouldn't be taking exams. My friend Carl was at sixth form college with a girl who got her A-level results, and when she pulled out the piece of paper, the 3 letters telling her what her future would be, she went, that spells none.
People make an awful lot about the pressure that kids are under, and I suppose they are, but speaking as an ex-teacher, that when it comes to exam time, there's far worse pressure on the teachers, because you have to spend sometimes 4 or 5 hours in those halls just walking up and down, and it's a recipe for insanity. I had no choice when I was teaching but to invent a game called Compile. It was just to see who could walk up and down the aisle the campest. We started off just sort of slightly mincing. Honestly, by the end of it, I was walking down a full aisle of children like this. And I knew it was time for me to leave teaching when I got to the end of one aisle, genuinely. During an actual GCSE, a kid looked up at me and went...
So were you essentially voguing your way?
I'm not exaggerating. By the end of it, I was like...
The thing is, they want to make the exams harder, don't they? But surely they're hard enough already if your teacher is walking up and down, helping it up.
Oh, no, I'm still qualified, technically. We'll have to cut this bit out.
Really? Is that your safety net?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Do you think anybody, having seen you in betweeners, anybody is ever going to employ you?
Well, you've always got a trade. What's the problem with it?
I did a gig at the University of Central England, which is in Birmingham. That's what they're trying to hide from you. And as an opening line, I said, UCE! So called because that's a grade it takes to get in. But I had to explain it to them.
I'll tell you, I was in an exam when I was at school. My mate, at the back of the hall went... we were all waiting to leave. Someone at the back of the hall went... Meow. Mr. Mearden, the exam invigilator, went... And then someone else went... Meow. And then... Meow. From different parts of the hall, and it led to my favourite sentence I've ever heard come out of an adult's mouth, which was, all right, no one leaves until the meowing stops.
At the end of that round, the points go to Chris, Hugh and Gary. The next topic is lines you wouldn't read in a romantic novel.
The dark stranger emerged from the sea, his wet shirt clinging against his muscular torso. Soon, she held him and said the words she'd been dying to say for ages. I'm UK Border Patrol and you're under arrest.
She felt every part of his 8 inches. He was stiff, absolutely wretched, and even in her innocence, she knew her hamster was dead.
He felt a swelling down there. Shouldn't have tried to bang a beehive.
He took her hand in his and squeezed it. Now, he thought, I wonder where the rest of her body is.
I want to role play. I'll be a prince from a mythical land, and you be your sister.
He cupped her breast and put her arse in a bowl. She was into really weird shit.
You could make love, she said. Or vole, he replied, looking up from their game of Scrabble.
She felt her bosom heaving as Mr. Darcy came ever closer. Blimey, he said, you don't get many of them to the pound.
He grabbed her hand, he held it tightly, and they skipped off through the fields of daffodils. And it was at that moment she thought he might be a little bit gay.
He looked at the tattoo of Chinese writing on her back. He didn't know what it meant, but he did know she'd put out on a first date.
Jeremy Corbyn, you've got me blindfolded. What are you going to do now? Nothing. I just wanted to highlight the injustice of inmates detained at Camp X-Ray without a fair trial.
Why? Why does it end like this? She said. Childhood accident, he replied. I crushed it in the trouser press.
The debutantes paraded in the ballroom in front of the rich landowners, and the Master of Ceremonies proudly proclaimed, "Let the Darcys fondle the arses."
Marjorie, I'm going to kiss you like you've never been kissed before.
Of course I've seen a black penis before, she said. Just never attached to a white man.
At the end of that round, the point going to Ed, Catherine and Andy. In other royal news, who's been found in a car park in Leicester?
Stan Collymore.
This is Richard III, isn't it?
It is Richard III, yes.
Do you know about Richard III?
I know a little bit about Richard III, yes.
Well,
Although my image of Richard III would be kind of odd, because we weren't taught a lot of that in school, is of the Shakespeare...
So he was
Skywalker! Your friends cannot save you now!
Death Star will be quite operational when your friends arrive. You get a different version. You get a different version to us.
Richard III was the man who lost the War of the Roses to Alan Titchmarsh. And he died at the Battle of Bosworth, and his remains have been found under a car park in Leicester, which is great, but they don't know what to do with him because he's lost his ticket and he's got £6,000 in back payments. He's got to pay another 50 because he's buried across 2 spaces.
I'm amazed that anyone's shocked about finding him. The state of car parks these days, you can't walk 10 feet without putting your feet in a Richard III.
It's not a big deal either, is it? They found him in...
It's not a big deal.
They found Richard... It's not a big deal. They find Prince Harry in a skip most weeks.
It's an amazing addition to Leicester's Hall of Fame. They've got Engelbert Humperdinck, Shawaddy Waddy, Rusty Lee, and now Richard III. It's the worst variety show of all.
All MC'd by Gary Lineker.
He comes on at the end.
I'm suspicious it is Richard III, but firstly because, you know, they didn't have car parks in the olden days, and also because they found the bones in a small cardboard box labelled Southern Fried Chicken.
Well,
Chickens do have a curvature of the spine.
Yes, they do. Wings.
It is, yes.
And people were a lot smaller then, so...
They were, you're right.
They weren't the size of a chicken. That's the way I have found Richard III. Just a chicken carcass. Yeah, look. We didn't have to dig. One of the cars pulled out and it was just here.
They think he killed the princess in the tower. They're not quite sure, but they think it was with a candlestick or the lead piping. That's one thing. And they think that now he was probably quite a good king, in fact. Don't they? He also said a horse, a kingdom for a horse.
I think he should be saying, the Force! My path for the Force! Skywalker! That is the greatest thing of everything in the world. Like, the Death Star will be quite operational.
There's a pitch beat in Monkey. This.
Yeah.
I have given like a Chinese Death Star. This Death Star a lot cheaper than the other Death Star. But it's not faster. You cross my palm with my lightsaber. I tell your fortune.
We will deliver to Endor. Endor, follow me.
You have to correct. I put down the force field so you can get in, innit?
Welcome to this year's Christmas quiz. Yes. I know. We have... Oh, wait, sorry, hang on. I need to make it more special. Hang on, there. How's that? That's good, isn't it? Wait, does that...
I like the shoes.
The shoes are good, aren't they? And this, I spent ages on this. This is... There we go.
Looks
Look
like
at that.
wraps of heroin stuck on his wrist.
Going to a very happy Christmas around my house. Thank you very much.
What have you got in your stocking? A spoon and a lighter?
OK, here's the question. In Catalonia, in Spain, nativity scenes often feature a rogue figure who is doing what?
Having a kip?
No.
I don't know if that was
Drawing
correct.
a moustache on the sleeping baby Jesus.
No, but that would be quite great.
Bullfighting.
Not bullfighting, no.
Spain, isn't it?
Yeah, but not in the middle of the nativity scene. Is not in Spain. They do accept that that's not happening in Spain.
Is he holding people hostage and arguing for Catalan independence?
He's not. He's not doing that, no. Although,
is he doing a little poo?
Yes, he's doing a poo. Well done,
What?
Rob. You're absolutely right. Give Rob a round of applause. Well done, Rob. Point to you.
The great thing about that is Rob has tried to answer a question like that for many years.
Yeah,
that's the first one he's got right.
That's my default answer is he doing a poo? And that's the only time this works out.
He dates back to the early 18th century. He's the shitter he's known. He's supposed to... he symbolises fertilising the ground, and he's in the nativity scene, the corner of the nativity scene.
I thought that I had a bad role in my school nativity play. That is the one you don't want to draw, isn't
Not
it?
again! Can I at least be an angel this time?
Has anybody noticed Dara's eye, by the way? Is it off-putting? Do you think the people at home will be concerned? What has happened?
I do. There's just a little sty there. It's just got infected. So
Is that really it?
No, it's a.
Has Brian Cox been beating you again?
Look into the telescope. He said, "Look hard into the telescope," and he bruised my eye, ramming it in. Shit. Go on. Look at that'll hurt you. That's my good eye, Brian. That's my good eye.
It's just trying to turn you into Patrick Moore.
They're so worried they get me an eye patch. That like this would be because this would be much more subtle if I played that. I presented the entire show like that because I've got a tiny infection in the eye. To be fair, I have a secret desire to have an eye patch. You know, I don't want to ever lose an eye. That's not how much I want to have an eye patch, but I think they're cool. It's something massively impressive because a guy with an eye patch, shit has happened. Because also you can do this. Sexy. The final part of undressing in a sexy way would be to take off the eye patch and what?
Take my eye out.
What unusual present might people be giving this Christmas? Oh.
Dead seagull?
Have you ruined the surprise?
You were the worst Secret Santa ever.
time. For God's sake, kill it.
I think it's actually sperm.
It is
isn't
sperm. Yes, it is sperm. Yeah.
But
It's
this
not an unusual gift.
Horrific return policy.
Not interested.
We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Sarah, which category would you like?
I will have world news, please.
OK, world news it is. The answer is 1.6 billion. What is the question?
Is it how many immigrants are so lazy they haven't even bothered to come over here?
What in decibels is Brian Blessed?
Is it when they go back to us, how many drachma will there be to the euro?
For about a week or so.
How many Scottish people now say they voted yes in the referendum?
Is it what was the crucial missing ingredient from England's bid for the 2022 World Cup?
Is it how much are cats owed in YouTube advertising?
Is it when I went on Dragon's Den, how much did I want for a 2% share in my body hoover business?
James, talk numbers. How many? What's your turnover?
Well, Deborah. I haven't really got the numbers in my head. That's what they say, isn't it?
Right, I'm out.
That usually gets...
Is it what is the count in Sesame Street up to now?
We think he's just somewhere in a bar, just still counting. Tiny Transylvanian puppet in a bar. 1.5.
If you go and use a Glastonbury toilet, is it how many people seem to have used that toilet before you have?
Is it what number, when typed into a calculator and turned upside down, becomes, ooh, GI?
Is it after you've popped, how many Pringles can you eat before you must stop?
Is it, since I started this sentence, how much further has Greece got into debt?
It's to do with Greece, clearly, yes. We're all dancing around. What is 1.6 billion?
This is the amount in euros that Greece is supposed to pay back to the IMF by the 30th of June.
You're absolutely right. Thank you very much, Sarah Pascoe. Well done. Yes. Questions omitted from the British citizenship test.
Can you fly a plane? Can you land a plane?
Pat Butcher, shag or die?
Do you ever look at the ingredients on Ready, Steady, Cook and think, I could make a bomb out of that?
Is there any chance you could represent us in the 2012 Olympics? In which case, you're in.
Boris Johnson, true or false?
Do you like the music of what?
On this map of Britain, can you point to where Gloucester used to be?
Are you paying too much for your car insurance?
OK, let's leave it at that. Point to Frankie, you and Adam. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first topic is global warming. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Sheryl Crow, she's gone into the debate. She wants us to save natural resources by apparently using only one sheet of toilet paper per visit. Now, let's face it, sometimes that's just not feasible, is it? But ever since I found that out, part of me's there thinking, each time I use more than one sheet, I've let Sheryl Crow down. Then part of me's thinking, oh, I'd never want to go out with Sheryl Crow. She's a toilet paper Nazi. And half the time, she's probably got a dirty arse.
Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is celebrity. Who wants to come in on that?
I will take that.
Ed.
Yes. No, I'll take celebrity because, you know, I suppose, I'm a celebrity. You know, I've got that sort of... I'm on telly occasionally. I'm on it right now. So that's fair enough, you know. But I'm not like famous. I've got that sort of halfway house. I'm not like household name, but I'm not nobody. I'm sort of like that bloke. What's his name? You know, like people will say, oh, I saw Ed Byrne on telly, and the other person will go, who? You know, oh, you know, the Irish guy, comedian. What, the big guy with the bald head? No, not that bloke. And it's weird when you got that sort of in-between thing, because, you know, I'll tell you what I get a lot, particularly in England, is I get people coming up to me to tell me that they don't know who I am. Seriously. Which to me seems a bizarre thing to cross a room to tell somebody, but you would be alarmed how often someone will come up to me in a pub or a club and go, apparently you're on the television? I've never heard of you. Really? My family used to own a dog called Layla. What? Sorry, I thought we were playing swap information neither of us gives a shit about. No? Whereas in Ireland, I'm a bit more well-known. So in Ireland, I get abuse.
OK, now we play a game called What on Earth? I show the panel a topical image from somewhere in the world and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teens, what on earth is this?
This is actually what goes on inside crackers.
Is this a photo of the sperm in Santa's testicles?
Maybe it's a picture of us in 30 years' time.
Oh, God,
yeah, but for the
still in show business. This is a convention of professional Father Christmases in America held recently. The Amalgamated Order of Real Bearded Santas have fallen out with members of other groups, such as the Red Suit Society, over accusations of unethical behaviour and unfair booking fees.
You've got to think about the commitment that it takes. Look at those men. This is not a 1 month a year thing. This is 12 months a year. They look like arseholes. Right? They don't always dress like that, but they do always have that beard.
What would you do? What would you do if someone turned up in your house, right, in your bedroom, dressed as Santa Claus?
At this age?
Yeah. Would you take the risk that maybe this is Santa? Or would you beat him to death? Perhaps killing Santa? Personally, I would hedge my bets and make love to him.
Well, while you're doing that, be sure to give the beard a good yank. So at least you'll know if he's in the proper amalgamated order.
Surely you could question him. Surely there's something between killing him and making love to him. Surely there's some other path you can take.
I think I've bisected it directly.
What an amazing Crime Watch reconstruction that would be as well. Just a blacked out Santa. I was only trying to give him presents.
By the way, there is genuinely... I mean, they've fallen out. There's a unionised group of Santas who've fallen out with another unionised, and they're taking court cases against each other. There's threats against each other.
Well, of course they're fighting, because there can only be one real Santa. I'm not sure they're not going to get along.
What is particularly good is that one union of Santa Claus doesn't believe in the existence of the other union of Santa Claus.
What if you let him go? What if you let him go? You accepted his story that he was Santa Claus.
Are we still in your room?
Surely the next step for that Santa is going to be him at the next house weeping on the floor. It's what happened, Santa?
No, there is. It is. It's just the hideous commercialisation of it all.
I was in my local Tesco's. It was September, and they were selling Christmas stuff. September, they were selling Christmas cake, Christmas pudding, and mince pies. And I swear this is true. Mince pies with a best before date of November the 12th. Now, explain that one.
Oh, we can have a mince pie any day of the year. You only have them at Christmas and you don't even like them then. In the same shop, do you know what was really sad? They were selling single slices of Christmas cake. Well done on awing. That is the most depressing side. Not even 2 slices, maybe for a couple, couldn't be arsed making a cake. No, 1 slice for you and your no pals. That is miserable. See image of some guy going, I'll have that after me Bernard Matthews turkey drummer. Standing on one end of a Christmas cracker.
What if he's wearing the Santa jerkin, but he's got no trousers on and a balaclava? What then?
He's a half-naked burglar with a red jacket on. This is changing all the time.
Maybe that's how Santa got killed in the first place. Maybe one night he went...
Santa get killed?
But at the beginning of the show, I'm Frankie Boyle, and this is a very different Mock the Week.
That's exactly how I was hoping this would pan out.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely film trailers.
A man who only wants one thing. Strepsils.
In his toughest assignment yet, Peter Parker has to pick a peck of pickled peppercorn.
Drama, intrigue, romance, gardening, spoons, all these and other words in Dictionary the movie.
All your favourite administrators are back in Human Resources 2. This time it's personnel.
When a hairpiece gets possessed by the devil, there'll be hell to pay.
He loves sex, but he has no arms. Which position will he choose? Missionary impossible.
If you see one film this year, then you're probably a new parent.
It was a love story that crossed the species barrier. He was a man, she was a cow. Coming soon, Beef Encounter.
Coming soon, a 3D film where you don't get bored halfway through and lift up the glasses just to see what the screen looks like without it.
Every Year I Love You More, starring Michael Jackson and Benjamin Button.
Coming soon, a story of premature ejaculation.
The Grand Budapest Hotel. Brilliant, The Times. 5 stars, The Guardian. The beds weren't made. TripAdvisor.
Part man, part machine, part bird, part drum. It's Robo Bongo Cuckoo Cop.
Thank you very much.
A group of Greeks try to get away with their money. Chicken Run.
My Dad Pictures presents. Your man. I know him from something. Anyway, him and a woman. I think she was in ER. Maybe it was House. She was definitely a doctor. Join forces to fight. I know him. He's gone awful old looking, hasn't he?
It's the bromance of the year. Ed and David Miliband star in What the Fuck Was the Point of That Then?
The next round is called Between the Lines and features Hugh and Frankie. Would you please make your way to the press pit? Frankie, this week you are soccer superstar David Beckham introducing himself to the many fans of LA Galaxy. Hugh will tell us what he really means.
I'm glad to have this opportunity to let you know what I'm thinking. It's great to have left Real Madrid.
I hate Poland.
I've bought a house in LA, right by the big Hollywood sign.
I'd love to know what it says.
Brooklyn has settled in well at an American school.
He shot someone.
My wife knows how much I love her.
I sent her a text by mistake.
I was surprised to learn that I was wanted by Scientology.
I didn't know they had a team.
Tom Cruise's wife, Katie, is always advising us to hire more staff.
She keeps sending me notes saying, get help.
Very good. Well done to both of them. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK? Here we go. The first subject is things you'd never read in the Bible.
Eve took the apple. Bollocks, she said. It hasn't got a headphone jack.
And it had all been a dream.
And in the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was good, but it wasn't compatible with Max.
And after the Last Supper came the last argument about who had a starter.
Oh, I should have known it would be you with a name like bloody Judas.
And so it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and Noah said, next year we holiday abroad.
I have 5 loaves and 2 fishes, he said. Who wants cod in breadcrumbs?
Jesus handed out cans of Dr. Pepper and said, drink this in remembrance of me. That's right, my full name is Dr. Jesus Pepper.
People who enjoyed this book also enjoyed the Quran and the Torah.
There was stress in the Garden of Eden. Adam wanted to leave, but Eve had voted remain.
This book has been rated 18 due to graphic violence, moderate threat and homophobia.
God is love. The devil is 40. Match point.
And most importantly of all, thou shalt not board the train until other people have alighted the train.
When Jesus saw all of the tables outside of the church, he went mental and started smashing everything up because he hated fates and had lost all of his money on the Guess the Weight of the Cake competition.
There is but one commandment greater than these. Secure the talent before you buy the bake-off.
Thou shalt not steal, unless from the self-service checkout.
You all do it.
Birthday cards, no wait, is there?
No, actually, my mum couldn't have done that because she's a virgin.
The animals came in 2 by 2, for 'twas Orange Wednesday.
OK, the next topic is lines you wouldn't hear in a James Bond film.
Sorry, mate, this is Spoons. We don't do martini. Do you want to jug a woo-woo?
We've invented you a new phone bond. It's exactly the same as the old phone, but you need to buy a new charger.
We've got the latest news on Thunderball 007. No one won last week, and it's a rollover.
Mr. Bond. Welcome to this mandatory course on sexual harassment in the workplace.
Hi, the name's Bond. It's not actually 007. They're zeros. Otherwise, I'd be called Ooh, 7.
Oh, Mr. Bond, I'm very flattered by your advances, but you are a complete stranger. You work for my enemy, and I am menstruating very heavily.
Bond, meet your children, 005, 003 and 0018 months.
You want my full name, of course. It's Bond. James Skipton Building Society, fixed rate, 1 year, Bond.
So another gadget, Bond. This is a way of distracting your opponents. Some light-up trainers for no reason.
Easter Bond, I have one question for you. Does this testicle look swollen?
So, Mr. Bond, welcome back. How was Russia? How do you feel? Do you know what? Rested.
Mr. Bond, we just want to check that you understand how to use the new equipment. You know you can swipe left, don't you?
Blofeld? No, I've never even met Felt.
This is the easiest fight on top of a train I've ever had. Thank you, Southern Rail.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I've got a girlfriend. No, thank you.
The point goes James, here and Gary.
We play a round called Happy Birthday, Paul McCartney. This game involved Joe, Milton and Carl. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest, OK? Here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is retail. Can I have somebody to come in and talk on that? Joe Coffett.
Tesco's have announced that they are going to overhaul their shops by employing more staff, which is great because the self-scanning doesn't work, does it? It's just a row of angry people shouting at machines. Just going, but there's nothing in the bagging area. I've removed it from the bagging area. Do you know what's in the bagging area? A friggin' bag. What a surprise. And also, I have to say, though, sometimes a person isn't better, right? I was at Tesco's at the checkout with a person at the checkout, and just by mistake, instead of the Tesco club card, I handed over my Sainsbury's Nectar card. The woman at the checkout in Tesco's, no word of a lie, she looked at the Sainsbury's card, she put it down, she then looked at her own badge. As if to go, maybe she's right, maybe I do work in Sainsbury's. So the shopping came to £3.76, so I gave her £5 and a penny and then stood back and watched her head explode. And another shop, Abercrombie & Fitch, They were famously sued in America because they had a policy of only employing young, very attractive people. I thought, do you think Argos has the exact opposite policy?
Thank you very much, Joe Cocker. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is health. Who wants to come in that? Carl.
Right. I suffer from recurring stomach problems, which sometimes lead me into quite embarrassing situations. One happened when, about 2 years ago, I went to see Alicia Keys live in concert at the O2 Arena. That's not the embarrassing bit. En route to meet friends to go to the show, I stopped off with my doctor to get a little checkup, and he said it was all fine, but he wanted a stool sample, so he gave me a little pot and said, do your sample, drop it in the morning. So I put it in my bag and then went to meet friends for a drink before the show. About half an hour passed, I felt movement. I thought, I better do it now, I've got to drop it in the morning. So I went to a pub toilet and I did my sample in a pot and put it back in my bag, went out, didn't tell my friends what I'd done, we just carried on drinking. About half an hour later, it's showtime. Went to the O2 Arena where I'd never been before to see Alicia Keys. And I reckon it was about 30 metres from the front of the queue where I found out about their compulsory bag search system. Have you ever tried to explain to a security guard why you're trying to smuggle a stool sample into an Alicia Keys concert? It's pretty tough. When he pulled it out, I've never heard more shock on a man's voice. He just sort of went, what is it? Like that. And I freaked out and said the first thing that came into my head, so I went, it's a pot of shit. Like that. Which he then repeated louder, right? He just sort of went, a pot of shit! And it went back down the queue like Chinese whispers. About sort of 20 people back, I think I heard somebody go, I think there's a guy with a bowl of chips at the front or something like that. So I'm just there, totally embarrassed, didn't know what to do, I'm always crying. I explain my story. The guy gets his supervisor, who comes over, and this is a great response. I was honestly like, oh, I've got a bag, sorry. And he listens to all that and goes like this, he goes, all right, I believe you, you can keep it.
OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. The subject is relatives.
The scariest thing that ever happened to me in my entire life was when I was very little. My dad said, I'm just going to pop upstairs. And he went upstairs and he popped. I didn't speak to my dad. Well, he was a bus driver. You're not allowed to. My brother, he's allergic to cheese, not the taste. Just if anyone says the word, he goes, whoop. Doesn't happen very often, but we've got some weird family photos. My grandfather, he was a GI, and he was in the RAF. OK, he was a giraffe. During the war, when board games were illegal, he was put in prison for being a Yahtzee sympathiser. My uncle, he was a security guard at the O2 Arena.
OK. The next topic is unlikely things for a continuity announcer to say.
On ITV2 next, what Katie did next. Which I'm guessing is get her tits out and marry some thick prick for publicity purposes.
I can see you.
A very special episode of Songs of Praise now, coming live from Stringfellows.
That was Game of Thrones, and if you're affected by any of the issues raised in that show, what the fuck is wrong with your family?
Is masturbation bad for you? That's not the next programme, I'm just thinking aloud.
Next up, baking and entering with Anthony Worrell-Thompson.
Next up, Ross Kemp meets one of America's toughest gangs. But before that, a minute's silence for Ross Kemp.
No! Dad! This is bullshit! Hate it when the eggheads win.
Now on Channel 4, one born every minute, including graphic scenes of childbirth that some viewers may find inspiration to get a coil.
And now on Channel 4, skins. 4 skins.
Next up on Channel 4, +1, -2, divided by 3. Countdown.
Next up, we have literally the only episode of Top of the Pops 2 we're allowed to show.
That was Mock the Week. Wasn't it weird when one of them said the exact same thing I'm saying right now? Still, talented fella.
Next up on BBC... Wait a minute, are those hippos swimming in a circle? What? Why are we watching Homes Under the Hammer?
Now it's one of those X Factor episodes where they sing next to a swimming pool. I presume to prepare them for a life singing on cruise ships.
You're watching the adult channel +1, because that Viagra's taking a while to kick in.
Well, next up, it's Midlands Today, so if you're watching in the Orkneys, you can fuck off.
At the end of that round, the points go to James here and Rob.
We forget about Cameron is he presents this blokish image, but he's just unbelievably posh. He's pretending he's going to sort the banks out. He is the same people as the banks. They're the same people. The only reason he'd get tough with a banker would be if it was someone who farted on his head at school.
It is the thing I found with Cameron, because Cameron, it's one of the easiest gigs in the world, because all he has to do is shut up, and because Brown is clearly on his way out, so all Cameron has to do, basically, to get elected is not answer any questions.
But he hasn't,
and all he does is, people say, well, what do you do? And he say, well, I'll tell you what we won't do. I'll tell you what we won't do. That's everything. And this is a job interview. How irritating does that get in a job interview if somebody just, like, if you had a guy around to your house, a builder, to fix a hole in the roof, and you said, well, there's the hole, what do you do? I'll tell you what I won't do. I won't fix that with cheese. That's what I won't do. If you were interviewing a nanny, how irritating would that be if you said to a nanny, well, what would you do with that child? I'll tell you what I won't do. I won't tie the child to a wall and go on the piss with my mates. I won't do that.
My favourite guy in the Shadow Cabinet is, the only one who's ever said anything, is Andrew Lansley, who came out, he's the Shadow Health Secretary, and he said people should enjoy the credit crunch because it'll allow them to spend more time with their families because they'll be unemployed. Other benefits include increased upper body strength from having to climb out of a skip every morning and improved agility from chasing rats about with a fork. Who's this guy? Does he go up to blind people and congratulate them on how much money they're saving on wallpaper?
Are the Conservatives living on the right planet? All this idea about confiscating mobile phones and bikes. How about confiscating knives and guns? What's the worst you can do with a bike and a phone? A ride by texting.
Even if we got teenagers' mobile phones, we wouldn't even be able to understand what they're texting to each other. It'd be like a Clockwork Orange or something. Are you slipping my Grubel, Terry? I should fro-fo.
I think what the text will end up saying over the coming months is, you're not going to believe this, Dave, a Tory politician has just tried to mug me for my phone.
I now have his phone. Ha, 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 ha. LOL, epic fail.
They're doing it, this is the funniest thing, they're doing it to stop graffiti. Now, some graffiti's amazing, isn't it? I was driving along the other day, there was a big sign that said stop, and underneath somebody had written hammer time. Now, you do not confiscate someone's phone if they don't have a bag.
I'm all for confiscating bikes, though, because I've only ever been beaten up once in my life, and it was by kids on bikes when I was 10. And it was when I learnt a very, very valuable lesson in life. I was playing cricket in a local park, right, and these kids on bikes came swooping down the hill, and they nicked the stumps that we were playing with, right? And this was where I learnt my valuable lesson, which was, don't try and do voices. Because instead of saying to these kids, excuse me, can you give me my stump back? What I actually said to them, and I've no idea to this day why I said it, I said, excuse me, would you mind handing me back my stumps? And what they did was they beat me round the head with the stump.
You got them back, wait a minute, Hugh. This taught you not to do voices. You've done every third voiceover I've ever heard. You're the voice of Findus Crispy Pancakes.
They're amazing, though. Those moments you look back in your youth when you go, why did I say it? I used to get bullied because I've got a lazy eye, still quite bad. And kids were really cruel. Look at him, he's obsessed with his nose. Who said that? I used to cry. I looked like a Picasso in the rain. And I did that thing. I went to my dad for advice. Like, Dad, I need help. And my dad goes, say this to the bullies and they'll bully you no more. Picture me, age 10. It's nearly as embarrassing as your story. Age 10 going, bullies, how can my eye be lazy when it wanders around so freely? Yeah.
Hello, I'm Dara O'Brien. Happy Christmas and welcome to a special festive edition of Mock the Week. We'll be talking about the holidays as well as looking back at some of our favourite moments from the last series, along with bonus bits we've never shown before. Hope you enjoyed. I asked the panellists a series of questions all about the festive season in the hope of filling 5 minutes we're trying to get out of this of our Christmas special. So, teams, here we go. First question, what Christmas tradition was it? There are no buzzers or any points. This show is not built in any way to accommodate genuine quizzes. But nonetheless, you can take your turns. Which Christmas tradition was inaugurated by Sir Henry Cole in 1843?
Is it the Christmas tree?
Is it not the Christmas tree?
Arguing with your relatives?
No, it's not that one either, I'm afraid. No.
Is it holding mistletoe above your head and therefore being allowed to sexually harass other people?
It is not that happy tradition, no.
Is it waking your children early, saying to them, oh, it looks like the sleeping pills have worked, happy Easter?
Is it going to church just once a year, and that's usually at midnight after the pubs have closed because you want one more glass of wine?
Man, you really want to be desperate for your wine, wouldn't you? It's something to bring up at an AA meeting. I sat through God. That's how much I wanted another drink.
Is it a Christmas stocking?
That's not Christmas stocking.
That's a Victorian tradition.
Were you trying to mine something there for us?
It was...
The Christmas card.
Yes! Well done, Ed Byrne. Points for him. Congratulations.
There are no points.
I know there are no points.
You promised us there'd be no points.
Name Santa's reindeer. I'll take attempts at this.
Donner and Blitzen.
Correct.
Prancer and Vixen.
That's 2 each.
Dasher.
Yes, 3-2.
It's like you're doing a duet.
Bonza. But not Rudolph. That's a lie.
We've had... What have we had? I've lost. I'm actually lost.
Donner and Blitzen. Donner and Blitzen. Some Dasher, Comet.
Bashful.
Bashful and Sleepy. Doc and Vixen.
If one's called Comet, one's going to be called Curries. Almost.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Comet, Vixen, Cupid.
Cupid?
No, we said Cupid.
Ridiculous name for a reindeer. Cupid.
They must have teased him, though, with a name like that. They must have teased him. He must have been the reindeer that they teased.
Reindeer are notoriously shallow, in fairness. If the story about Rudolph is anything to go by, reindeer are ridiculously shallow. And they will make fun and they will slag you off until you get a job with Santa, and then they will all love you. The last line of that song should actually be, and then Rudolph turned around at them and said, well, fuck yous, I'm with Santa now.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Why did you look at my ass for the entire... why don't you fly the entire world while you look at my hole, right? It doesn't matter how fast we fly, that's all you're going to see. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, all you're going to see is my hairy reindeer ass going all around the world. The nose is in the front, bitches. The nose is fighting fog, but you're looking at my ass, Cupid. That's all you get.
Enjoy your reindeer game.
Oh, can we move on? Oh, sorry, is that not festive enough for this ridiculously contrived? Sorry, am I not striking the mood in the nation at this stage? Yeah, look at the bitches! Look at that ass! See you, baby! Shaking that ass! Shaking that ass! Yeah.
Good night.
Ho, ho, ho. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Fred, which category would you like?
World news, please, Dara.
OK, your category is world news. The answer is 1/5. What's the question?
Is this what fraction of the Jackson 5 might miss the Christmas party?
Is it how much of the weekend can Andrew Flintoff remember?
Is it how much of French and Saunders is Saunders?
Is it what proportion of Enid Blyton's The Famous Five can lick their own testicles?
Is it England's only dwarf king was called Henry the what?
How much of a Boris Johnson speech is not, well, I say, gosh?
Is it how does Jamie Oliver pronounce one fish?
Is it how much of Wikipedia is true?
I'll tell you, on that... Actually, I won't mention that on telly.
What does it say about you?
Go on, what does it say about you?
No, go on.
It says, somebody's written, I was once kicked out of a zoo for punching a monkey, and then somebody underneath has put correction, he spanked the monkey. I didn't do either. Didn't do either.
In my bit on a trivia about me, it says, I once aided the RSPCA in saving a goose from a tile shop. I don't remember the event. It's incredibly specific.
What's the point of Wikipedia if people just write it themselves? I think every Wikipedia entry should have to start with "I reckon."
Probably.
Yeah.
Do you know
On
what?
the balance
Somebody
of
else. I've just remembered another. This is a creepy thing that somebody put on my Wikipedia. They said of me, he looks like the kind of straight bloke that would be quite good at gay sex. I'll be honest, when I read that, I did go get in. But he went on to say, but he looks like he'd cry afterwards. So there's part of me now that wants to find a gay man to test the theory. So if there's any out there, bring it.
I suspect there will be a few out there.
Yeah.
Probably about 1/5.
There you go.
What honour was the actor Nicolas Cage given this year?
Oh, Nicolas Cage, right? He's actually going to be able to turn the Christmas lights on in Bath.
This, by the way, aren't the lights in Bath. This is...
Apparently, what happened was...
Those are the lights in Dundee.
Somebody actually put a note through his door. He's got a house in Bath, and he's agreed to turn on the lights. I put a note through Cheryl Cole's door, and apparently that's a matter for the police.
Do you know what's really weird about this story?
Not only is it incredible that they've got Nicolas Cage to do it, but also there must have been an incredibly uneasy phone call to Barry Chuckle. Sorry, Barry, Nicolas Cage is doing it. Maybe they gave him a part in an action movie where he knocks out Vin Diesel by turning round quickly with a plank.
Do you know what's really awkward about this story? This is genuinely true. Until last week, I was doing it.
Really?
I was there. Yeah. And then from nowhere, Cage has just jumped. It's funny. All my relatives are like, do you want us to sort him out? No, I don't want you to sort him out. Because we'll go around there and mess him up. Don't mess him up.
Because you were originally up for the part in Face Off as well, weren't you?
And what's really funny about it is the lady that posted the letter through the door is the exact lady that went, oh, we'd love you to do it. You'd be great. And then I read in the paper without even telling me, big Nicholas, you bitch.
About 10 years ago, I switched on the Christmas lights in Kidderminster.
Wow!
And because I've been rude.
There are Christmas lights in Kidderminster.
Yeah, there are.
Were you asked to do this?
Yeah, because I've been rude.
We had Bruce Willis!
We've been rude about Kidderminster on television. Got a letter from the Kidderminster Tourist Board or whatever saying, would you come and switch on the Christmas lights? So you think, oh, that'd be great, I'd love to do that. But you don't actually do it. Because what they do is they give you one of those enormous pretend switches, right? And you have to kind of go like this on a balcony to a crowd below, and you kind of go, I'm going to press the thing now. And you press it, and as you press it, a bloke in a room behind turns on a switch. So you're not doing it.
So hang on a minute, so that bloke's going to be me. I'm going to be the guy.
Right.
So you were asked to do it because you were rude about
Because I was
Kidderminster.
rude about Kidderminster. I also did a joke once about Wolverhampton and got invited on a tour of Wolverhampton.
I'm thinking bigger than that. If I slag off Jessica Alba, do I get a tour of Jessica Alba?
Well, apparently Bristol wanted to have Bruce Willis switching on their lights, but then they remembered that he tends to get into a lot of trouble around Christmas time.
I remember years ago getting up really early Christmas morning, running downstairs, ripping open one of my presents, but unfortunately it was a puppy. That's not true. It was a kitten. That's not true. It was an old man. I remember all I wanted for Christmas was an action man. What I got was a plastic doll with a cord on the back and you pulled it when 25, 25, 25, 30, 35, 35, 35, 40. Looked at the packet. Auction man. I don't know about you, I often feel like Joseph at the inn in Bethlehem, holding a crib of straw and saying, no, I wanted to see the manager. I think the most peaceful Christmas I remember... Your manger. I think the most peaceful Christmas I remember was when my mother mistakenly covered the cake with temazepam.
The Christmas quiz! See? People now come especially for the Christmas quiz to look at our fabulous decorations. On that page,
He's got
this
shit.
page, which I think is actually sort of, sweet. And then, for no particular reason, a squirrel. A squirrel with tinsel on him, which is not in any way
And
effective
Donald
animal.
Trump's hair at the back.
And then this, a genuine, you can purchase this, which is a glistening owl with antlers on. You know, this costs like £4.50 or something in a shop.
Is this your audition for QVC?
Anyway, so that's, you know, hey. OK, here's a Christmas quiz, right? In which there'll be quizzes and questions. What makes the traditional British Christmas dinner unique?
Turkey, sprouts.
No. What is it about it that actually...
Racism.
No, not unique, it's an achievement. Not racism.
You can't say that for every question, Nick.
So what makes a British Christmas dinner outstanding?
Why did you ask it again without mumbling?
I'm sorry, my face is full of your shitty lemon meringue pie.
It is quite tart. It will.
Oh, it didn't fall apart. Bravo. OK, why is the British Christmas dinner outstanding?
Is it considered the unhealthiest or something?
Very close, yeah, it is.
The most fatty.
It is the unhealthiest in Europe. A typical Christmas dinner in this country contains 3,289 calories, 70 grams of fat, 210 grams of carbohydrates. The second most calorific Christmas dinner in the world.
Who's the most calorific?
Take a wild fucking guess. What do you want for Christmas this year?
I don't know. I don't want anything for Christmas.
Hand drop off an elf.
The number one gift party for kids this year?
Nerf guns.
The Nerf gun is 64 quid. You could go to America and buy a gun for less than that.
Actually, it's like it's a ludicrously scary thing, the Nerf gun. This is the current...
Hey, don't point that there. Hey, point that over somewhere else.
Thomas, I'll be really careful. I wouldn't dream of doing that to you. Of all the people here, you were the last person that I would fire the... Boom! Hang on. Oh, yeah, there's three things you can do, right? You can do this big one here. Right.
Listen, Nerf is how I did this to my eyes. So I'm just saying. I'm just warning you.
OK, cool. I'll get him instead. Right, OK, Grant. Are we OK to sacrifice you for this? And then you can do these.
I guess so. I bet you can catch one in your teeth. There's an instruction manual that says, do not aim at people's faces.
Yeah,
Please remember that I am a special man with special powers, and do not try this at home.
How far will it get? How far do you think it'll get?
I don't know, but if he hits any of you, sue the shit out of you. All the money they're saving on Bake Off now can go to you.
Can you get to the back? I mean, because this is... I feel it can be unnecessarily powerful, this thing.
Yeah.
Right, OK, so let's decide the back.
I certainly feel that.
Yeah. Whoa! Oh, now. Good catch. Well done. Respect. That is, I'm estimating 7 gardens away.
So you asked, what do you want for Christmas? So you could then shoot us.
He's still got the up with me, James, because he got heckled in Derby because they wouldn't shake his hands. I always shake people's hands after the show, and in Derby, I was there the week before and shook everyone's hand, and then someone walked out of his show and went, at least Rob Beckett shook our hand.
That actually happened. Can you believe it? He shakes people's hands on the way out the door like a little kiss ass. Afterwards. Here's what most of us do, right? We do our stand-up, and then we go, that'll be enough. And we go back, because that's our job. And Rob goes, no, please light me at the door.
I was thankful they came, James. And to be fair, like, you know, it's only 4 people you've got to shake, so you should...
Listen, here's what's annoying about it, right? I got heckled with this thing. Well, Rob Beckett shook our hands.
What else did they say? What else did they, James, what else did they say?
And he had proper jokes. So then I was like, right, for a joke then at the end, I said good night, and then I legged it downstairs to the door, and I shook all their hands on the way. I was like, however, 4 of them, but like, shaking all of their hands. And when the last one went out, and it was clearly a joke that I was doing to make fun of Rob, and the last one went out, and the venue manager came up to me and went, thanks for doing that. It really means a lot to him, and people take the time to shake their hands. I was like, that was a joke! I'm not Rob Beckett.
Yeah, but the thing is, let's be honest, I didn't have many other options open to me career-wise, so I'm just very thankful they turn up. Genuinely, because without them, I would probably be on the street.
Yeah. At the end of my shows, I'd say, I've been James Acaster, and I could have been anything. And I walk
Why would you want to be given clothes as a Christmas present in Iceland?
Because it's really cold.
It's
freezing there.
It's a land of ice, Dara! Is it because you can take them back and get the money back in exchange for the clothes?
No, it's not that perfectly practical good reason to get clothes.
Yeah, because clothes is just a good present wherever you are.
Oh, God, yes, I know. OK, the question...
Because people don't have clothes. Are you getting exasperated at us, trying to think of humorous answers to ridiculous questions that you're posing? Should we just try our hardest to come up with the correct answer? Would that slightly miss the point of a comedy quiz?
No.
Is it because normally they sell frozen food?
The reason you should be given clothes as a Christmas present is to stop you getting eaten by the Yule cat. Yule Kuterin.
I tell you what, I wonder why you didn't get the QI presenting. There's got to be one show you don't present, hasn't
There
there?
has to be, yeah. What might you expect to eat at Christmas in Japan?
Food.
Yes.
Sushi.
No.
Sashimi.
No. Don't just name all Japanese things you can think of.
Wagamamas.
Not... A bucket of...
Eels.
No.
Turkey.
That's not a clue.
It's a really good clue. A bucket
Fried chicken.
Of fried chicken.
Is it fried chicken?
It's fried chicken, Nish. Not just any fried chicken.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Fried chicken. Since 1974, KFC has marketed itself in Japan as a Christmas food.
Oh, very clever.
With the advertising phrase, Kentucky for Christmas. That's... Look.
I beg your pardon.
Kentucky for Christmas. A lot of things to hear at Christmas.
Oh, John, thank you so much for my electric toothbrush. No, it's everything I wanted and more. Oh, you got lots of nectar points on it. Good.
Do the fork and take a pew. This might run for a while. Yeah.
Oh, Sarah, a holiday to Barbados? That's going to help in the fight against plaque.
It's Christmas. Today? Are you sure? The shops have kept that very quiet.
Oh, look, everyone's eating all the nuts I've bought. I should buy some more.
Leg or breast? I'd really rather you just put your clothes back on, Graham.
I'd just like to reassure everyone that the sponsorship deal will have no effect on this year's nativity. Now, Joseph, if you could just pop Jesus in the Pret a Manger.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Christmas with a vegan.
This is your Christmas and birthday present. Yes, it is a turkey with 16 candles stuck in it.
We always have a goose here at Christmas. I don't know why, really. Its conversation's terrible and it shits all over the floor.
First subject is technology. Who's given that? Josh.
I don't want to brag, but I've got a new debit card, so... Yeah, I know, I've one of the old touchy-downy... If you haven't got one of these, you have not lived, my friends. Oh, my God, never did you feel so smug in your life. When they go, how would you like to pay? Just have, mate, see you later. What am I off? The future. Thing is, you get used to it, you can't go back, you're going somewhere now. Well, they haven't got the technology. Do you want to just put in your PIN number? Are you kidding me? Do you expect me to stand here for 4 seconds pushing buttons? What is this, a Victorian workhouse? No, I'm sorry, Marks and Spencers, no. I'll be getting my Percy Pigs elsewhere in future. The worst is when you think they have the touchdown technology, but they haven't. You look like you've never used a debit card before in your life. How do you like to pay? You're just going... Are you having a breakdown? I don't like it when they've got the terminal and they have to ask for your permission. Do you mind if I just... Yeah, couldn't give a shit, mate. Just... What? Yeah, just in case he goes, do you mind if I just... Yeah, £4,000 unlucky, my friend. Enjoy your Sprite. It's the opposite of the other one I don't like, which is when the waiter makes too much of not looking at your PIN number. I hate that if you'd just like to put in your PIN number. Well, I wasn't suspicious of you until now.
OK, that leaves us with James. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the subject is food.
I'm trying to eat more healthily lately. I bought some ready-to-eat apricots this week. They say you are what you eat, which is true, because as soon as I bought the ready-to-eat apricots, I was ready to eat apricots. Those ready-to-eat apricots, they came in a resealable bag as well, because not everyone's as ready to eat apricots as they think they are. Maybe next time they'll buy ready-to-eat some apricots. I know shitloads about bread. There's no such thing as prawn bread. So the origin of prawn toast remains a mystery. Favourite place to eat is Pret a Manger. If you don't know Pret a Manger, it's an authentic French restaurant. So much in there, so much to manger. I love manger in there. I think my favourite thing to manger is the yoghurts. I love to manger the yoghurts. You've got granola on top, then mainly yoghurt, then like fruit compote at the bottom. It's like the way they eat it in Paris. And get a spoon, you mix it all together, and then you manger it that way. If you like. Or if you like, just leave it as it is, don't mix it, and just work your way down in order. Like, start off with nothing but granola to begin with, just shoveling raw granola in your mouth, just deflecting off your teeth, then power through the yoghurt for a really long time, getting absolutely nothing out of it, then end on the tangy compote. Like, whoa, what a finale! That's how I eat yoghurt. I eat them like they're packaged. That's why I like them fruit corners. They come with that little chaser.
Thank you very much. At the end of that round, the points go to James Acaster.
I bumped into Rob at Glastonbury. He was so excited about being there. You should have seen his little face.
So, right, I agreed to do Glastonbury because it said you're on at 12:50. What I didn't read was AM. I was expecting a nice little midday gig, and I was there for 12 hours before I was on. And if you do a poo there, you have to... The toilets, basically the toilets, is scaffold over wheelie bins, and there's a hole over each wheelie bin. You have to take a cup of mud with you. There's bags of mud, and then you do a poo, and you have to pour your mud over your poo. I felt like a cat.
Are you telling me that your cat can hold a cup? That toilet situation is just so you've got scaffolding and you've got wheelie bins underneath.
Yeah, 1/3 of the toilets were kind of essentially a compost heap. So they wanted to recycle they could use as a human waste as it. Yeah. So they had people with sand or soil or whatever.
Well, why do you need fertiliser over that? All everyone's having all weekend it's cider and kebabs. What are you trying to grow with that? What are they trying to grow? People to go on Jeremy Kyle?
My mum had a house in Sri Lanka, and she had one of those toilets that just goes straight... The poops go straight into the ground, and that she had mango trees behind the toilet. The mangoes were absolutely enormous. I've never seen... They were much bigger behind the toilet than they were anywhere else in that whole bit. But my mum didn't allow us to eat them because she said they're poor mangoes. No, we weren't...
My God, if you package them up in Waitrose, middle-class people were smothering... These are poo mangoes. They're the only mangoes I get.
Oh, no! I ordered from Ocado. They've substituted my poo mangoes for shitty beans. That's not fair.
Every time I have a mango, I think of your mum having a poo. Poo mango. That's your fault.
Hold on a second, mate. Hold on a second. I said I took a poo, and now you've made the leap, just brought my mum into the situation.
She has shits now and again.
My mum has never shit in her life, mate. How dare you talk like that about my mother?
My mum's ruined mangoes, my dad's ruined baths. Between us, we're killing this country.
Oh, I think we've just scraped off a layer there. Is that a story from your childhood?
A couple of weeks ago from the
I see. Oh, right. Don't watch myself.
No, I know. Spin the wheel. The first subject is travel. Miles.
Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with trains. It's the quiet coach, OK? Quiet, that is an adjective. It doesn't go far enough. Quiet is an adjective. It should be called the silent coach, shouldn't it? The silent coach. No one would have any trouble understanding that. It's the silent coach, right? You can't talk on it, you can't use your laptop, children can't travel on it, you can't eat crisps, and crucially, they, the train people, they wouldn't be allowed to make announcements. Because the sort of people that have the mentality to travel on the quiet coach, which is the correct mentality, are the sort of people who check where the train is going before they bloody get on it. For years, we've just not got these things right. Mock the weak audience, you're exactly the sort of people that know what I'm talking about. In Russia, during the revolution, right... During the Russian Revolution, the Russian army was able to travel to all of its battles by train. During a revolution, they were still able to rely on public transport. Imagine if we had a revolution now and the army had to rely on transport, we'd be buggered, wouldn't we? Certainly, certainly those of us who wanted the army to win. Absolute nightmare, wouldn't it? Marston Moor 2016 kicked off. You know, the British Army turning up 7 hours late to every single conflict. You know. Oh, sorry, there were leaves on the line at Stevenage. There was a passenger action at Crewe. We were going to be joined by the SAS, but they've been stuck on a rail replacement bus service in Horrified.
Thank you very much, Miles. OK, now leaves Milton. Let's see what topic you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And subject is music.
We don't know much about Galileo. He was a poor boy from a poor family. I live in a Grade 2 listed building, which of course means that everyone in it has to be quite good at the piano. Apparently all Chinese children who are learning to play the piano know a tune called Knife and Fork. I'd like to take the band ABBA out for lunch, and if I could, I would, my friend. For Nando's. When I was at school and it rained, we used to have to stay in for wet play. And when it was cold, we used to have to stay in and listen to this really dull band. AD 79. Julius Caesar receives the first ever weather forecast. Hail Caesar.
Come on. Now we play a round called It's Getting Hot in Here, so take out all your jokes. This game involved Tiff and Ramesh, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. The first subject is magazines. Who wants to come in on that?
OK.
Tiff.
As a woman, most of your life is designed to make you feel a little bit shit. And magazines are responsible for that. You know, magazines like OK, which I look at on the shelves and think, when are they going to stop putting people on the front of that who are quite clearly not OK? Magazines will recommend that you have plastic surgery. That seems to be everywhere. Too much plastic surgery these days. I think that's why they've invented emoticons. Right, they're for women who've had too much plastic surgery, so you can just hold up an iPad and say, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel like a smiley poo with eyes. But I think the worst thing that magazines do is they perpetuate trends, really bad trends, right? I don't know how you guys feel about vajazzling. But I genuinely believe it is a plot by religious groups to get gay men interested in vaginas. By making them look like disco balls. I told my mum about the vajazzling, right? I said, Mum, they do this thing now where they put Diamante on your downstairs. And my mum just went, vajazzling? In my day, you were lucky if you gave it a wash.
Thank you very much, Jeff. OK, that leaves us with Ramesh. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is parenting.
I'm a parent. You know, we had our first child, and our first child is such a lovely kid. You know, he always says please and thank you. He's such a wonderful, wonderful little boy. I said to my wife, do you know what? I think we might have mastered parenting. I think it's just about setting clear boundaries and being consistent. The second one, feral. Right. Like, I love him, but what a prick this kid is. Like, I love him, but what an unacceptable human being. Like, I love him, but I don't like him. You know, that's... Like, I'm going to have to say to him one day, you're a mistake. And not like in the way that the contraception went wrong, like the decision to have you was a mistake. Sometimes I want him to get hurt. There you go, I said it. Now, listen. I don't mean really hurt. I just mean a little bit. You know, because he doesn't listen, this kid. When I say to him, don't do that, dude, because if you do that, you're going to get hurt. And then he does it, and he doesn't get hurt. That pisses me off, right? Because that is life telling him that I'm full of shit. This kid's running with scissors with no consequences. Do you know what I mean?
Very good. Again, the points go to David time. Come on back, both of you. Lines you wouldn't hear in a sci-fi movie.
Hi, is that NHS Direct? Yeah, a bit of a temperature, and I've got an alien coming out of my stomach. 2 paracetamol, OK.
OK, Mr. Zulu. Set course for the 4th quadrant to the Orion Nebula. I think there's a Nando's there.
We're sorry to announce that there is a replacement beam-down service this weekend between the ship and the planet Splooge.
You've got to imagine this in a Scottish accent. This is our Independence Day! There you go.
They abducted us and took us to their spacecraft, and then they explored our bodies with strange probes. I'll be honest, it was the best stag night I'd ever been on.
This man can now reach the full potential of his brain. Joey, wake up, you can tie your shoes. Reem.
What the people don't know, Captain Kirk, is that when I do that V thing, that means in Vulcan, I've had your mum.
I think this time tunnel is broken. We have gone 1,000 years into the future, and Bruce Forsyth is still working.
If you take the red pill, you will enter the Matrix. If you take the blue pill, you will have a boner for 7 hours.
This is it. The machines are taking over. Hashtag apocalypse.
Yeah, I've had a look at it, mate. The problem is your nano boosters are shot and your warp drive is fucked.
Our planet is dying. We seek a new home. Which of you is Phil and which of you is Kirsty?
The dinosaurs are killing everyone. Why do we keep reopening this park? Who keeps giving us public liability insurance?
So the plan is you get in the time machine, go back in time, and cock-block Hitler's dad.
Phone home. Phone in Joan. No, phone home.
OK, at the end of that, the points go to Matt, Catherine and Andy.
OK, now we play a game called What on Earth? I show the panel a topical image from somewhere in the world and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teens, what on earth is this?
This is actually what goes on inside crackers.
Is this a photo of the sperm in Santa's testicles?
Maybe it's a picture of us in 30 years' time.
Oh, God,
Yeah,
but
for the
still in
grace of
show
God.
business. This is a convention of professional Father Christmases in America held recently. The Amalgamated Order of Real Bearded Santas have fallen out with members of other groups, such as the Red Suit Society, over accusations of unethical behaviour and unfair booking fees.
You've got to think about the commitment that it takes. Look at those men. This is not a 1 month a year thing. This is 12 months a year. They look like arseholes. They don't always dress like that, but they do always have that beard.
What would you do? What would you do if someone turned up in your house, right, in your bedroom, dressed as Santa Claus?
At this age?
Yeah. Would you take the risk that maybe this is Santa? Or would you beat him to death? Perhaps killing Santa? Personally, I would hedge my bets and make love to him.
Well, while you're doing that, be sure to give the beard a good yank. So at least you'll know if he's in the proper amalgamated order.
Surely you could question him. Surely there's something between killing him and making love to him. Surely there's some other path you can take.
I think I've bisected it directly.
What an amazing Crime Watch reconstruction that would be as well. Just a blacked-out Santa. I was only trying to give him presents.
By the way, there is genuinely... I mean, they've fallen out. There's a unionised group of Santas who've fallen out with another unionised, and they're taking court cases against each other. There's threats against each other.
Well, of course they're fighting, because there can only be one real Santa. Naturally, they're not going to get along.
What is particularly good is that one union of Santa Claus doesn't believe in the existence of the other union of Santa Claus.
What if you let him go? What if you let him go? You accepted his story that he was Santa Claus.
Are we still in your room?
Surely the next step for that Santa is going to be him at the next house weeping on the floor. It's what happened, Santa?
No, there is. It is. It's just the hideous commercialisation of it all.
I was in my local Tesco's. It was September, and they were selling Christmas stuff. September, they were selling Christmas cake, Christmas pudding, and mince pies. And I swear this is true. Mince pies with a best before date of November the 12th. Now, explain that one. Oh, we can have a mince pie any day of the year. You only have them at Christmas, and you don't even like them then. In the same shop, you know what was really sad? They were selling single slices of Christmas cake. Well done on awing. That is the most depressing... Not even 2 slices, maybe for a couple, couldn't be arsed making a cake. No, 1 slice for you and your no pals. That is miserable. See image of some guy going, I'll have that after me Bernard Matthews turkey drummer. Standing on one end of a Christmas cracker.
What if he's wearing the Santa jerkin, but he's got no trousers on and a balaclava? What then?
He's a half-naked burglar with a red jacket on. This is changing all the time.
Maybe that's how Santa got killed in the first place. Maybe one night he went...
Santa get killed? Where is that?
But at the beginning of the show, I'm Frankie Boyle, and this is a very different Mock the Week.
That's exactly how I was hoping this would pan out.